having the content, the news that you have daily. And I said to people, I wish you took the time to read through the papers every day. Then you will understand
what we're doing,
the pain and the fright. When we say that, when we raise an alarm about where this country is headed, if you read through the papers and you've had some experience, some of the experience that some of us have had, I want to repeat for again and again and again how in 1967 the Civil War started by police action, dispatching policemen and a few soldiers to go arrest Ojukwu. The rest is history. And so when you see this kind of trend, it bothers you. And what bothers you the more is that the most crucial element in solving this problem, the most crucial element, information, and whether you like it or not, propaganda, when you see it as being non-existent, then you can jolly well understand the fears that we have. Coupled with the fact that, there's a feeling, there's some kind of feeling that, also even in terms of media and so on and so forth, certain restrictions might be put in place that could make our job a bit more difficult. If you look at all these things, but most important, information is key.
It is.
Whatever you do, if you buy all the machine guns, you buy this, and then information and dialogue, where you are constantly briefed, you're backgrounded, a lot of that is not happening. I mean, 7 years on this program, I've only been to one briefing. And who does that?
Yeah.
Rather than see the media as being your enemy, you're supposed to embrace them.
Absolutely.
Explain things regularly to them so that they can have a feel.
Absolutely. I had an interview with Dennis Amakri yesterday.
Who's that?
Which former assistant
the DSS.
Yes, and exactly what he said. When I was asking about interactions with the media, one of the things he pointed out was the government needs to have regular meetings with the media. Let's know what's going on so you can put out the correct information.
Wemimo, the media at both state and federal level has been alienated. I'm saying that somebody like me who does a daily analysis, I've only been to one briefing in 7 years. One.
In 7 years.
In 7 years. One. And that briefing turned out to be a press conference, not a briefing. in which case I kept quiet almost all the time.
What was the point?
And
now?
It was so ceremonial.
What's the point?
There's a need for the government to up his whatever with those who are charged with information. I mean, once you don't have that kind of interaction, then you have mutual suspicion.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have mutual suspicion, and that is not going to help anybody. Even in the military days, the military that was, whatever, there was still some better level of interaction than what you have now. And I would appeal to the government and all their agencies to have a change of attitude.
Yeah.
This country belongs to all of us.
Absolutely.
And it is not nice for those in government to think that they are the only ones who have the solution.
Sometimes the callers, the people will prefer solutions. And the media acts as the middle point.
Not just that, we are also human beings.
Yeah.
And subject to analysis based on our knowledge. If you don't give us background information, okay, if you haven't provided background information, because by now with all this crisis, I'm surprised nobody has called some of us to say, look, this is exactly what is going on.
And this is how we're planning to deal with it.
But don't say this and, for security purposes and that. But that is missing.
Yeah.
It's completely missing, And so it is sad and painful that we have this current state of affairs. And we would plead with everybody on all sides that the last thing we want is for this country to go down. It is the last thing that anybody would want.
And we all need to be absolutely careful about it.
We need to be very careful. For the younger ones who keep talking about war, it's because you've not seen what
you don't really want it.
You don't want it.
No, you don't want it.
Guess what? Before we go into the papers, I'd also like to let people know that, for God's sake, look, with the current trend that we have, we'll be spaced out. It's not going to be like the Civil War where everything was in one. It's not going to be like that. What we are looking at, if we are not careful, is some form of revolution coming up.
All across the place. It's worrisome.
It's very worrisome. And like you rightly said this morning, I don't know if you want me to say it, you're not even sure how well the security forces are mobilized and motivated, to swing into action We are not too sure. If I were a general or a top government official in this current situation, I'd be very wary about putting a gun in it, because you don't know in the hands of because you don't know how well motivated they are. And the government cannot lay exclusivity to phones.
It's
okay,
worrisome.
let's go.
Okay, let's go.
Calm down, you'll be okay.
Yeah, I pray so.
You'll be okay.
I pray
You'll be
so.
okay.
I'll try to divorce myself from these stories as much as I can today.
I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah. So let's start with the Punch newspaper today. Governors cry out, demand action from Buhari as 21 more Nigerians killed.
Oh, Autumn was a sorry sight yesterday in the video that I saw. He was a sorry sight. I've never seen a man so emasculated. He was helpless. He didn't know what to do. He made efforts at guarding his language, but sometimes he let
There
loose.
was a slip, yeah.
There was a slip. And with the video and the dead bodies in view, it was a sorry sight to look at yesterday. And says senators and 3 governors expressed concern. All the governors should be concerned, and members of the national... Are you okay? You're fine. Okay, you'll be fine. Okay, and members of the national, all of us should be concerned, and all of us should speak with one voice. A, to condemn what is going on as much as possible, but B, to see if we can proffer solutions. This is not a time to be a party man. This is not a time to be, like you say, quote and unquote, in opposition and take the mickey out of the government for not doing A or for not doing B. This is the time for all Nigerians to come together. This thing is going to affect all of us. I saw the video of some senator almost weeping yesterday. And I said to myself, my first reaction was, but you guys are part of the problem. You guys are part of the problem. All this, everything borders down to injustice, okay? And the injustice has led to the have and the have-nots, with the gap widening on a daily basis.
But the governors are also, they have security. I had a conversation yesterday with, okay, how much of this is lying on the federal government's table? How much of this can we demand from the governors themselves? What are they doing with all the security votes they've got? If they can't fix it, maybe they should stop collecting it. And what's
it's
going
not.
on?
It's what we have now. It's better. Yoruba say that when trees fall on each other, you take. Let's even take out. If you want to go to the issue of money, let's give it its base name, money. Money used or not used for whatever. You will go across the board and you're not going to get anywhere. Let us face what we have now. The governors are powerless. They're toothless. Security vote or no security vote, they're toothless. It's this issue is even if you had the state police, it's useless
right now
as we speak. And for those of us who think that because we're in the West is no, if we're not careful, it's coming here. If we are not careful, not that we pray that it should, but if we are not careful, it's coming here. So this is not also the time to play the blame game.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's also not the time to get frightened, because the senator yesterday, the video that I saw, the man was
he almost cried.
He was crying, but you could see fright in him. It was more fright and panic.
Yeah.
What you need is sober reflection and deep thinking.
And these issues are more development related. Education, healthcare, citizens feeling like they belong to a country.
We have been at this for years, saying this bubble is going to burst.
Yeah.
This bubble is going to burst. Now it's been burst by the pin, by a pin. Let's see if we can patch it up before somebody uses a hammer to,
blast the
whole thing. Oh, we are on the verge of something that is not pleasant, whatever. But let's see what they say here. A senator says, Wemimo says that I'm not convinced Buhari is aware of what is happening. I'm not going to comment on that. I don't want to get into all these politics and things, at least for now. Focus is on what is to be done. Senators say that Buhari should seek help. There is no help. There is nothing called help. You have to go bargain for something. But you see, in telling him to seek help to do what?
No, but the president already sought help.
And in what manner? Okay.
The AFRICOM.
The AFRICOM, yes. What is the price they're going to pay? Because I said there's no help. You have to go negotiate something.
It's a
you
trade.
Have to give up. It's a trade. And don't forget, the same people you went to meet for help are those who said that Nigeria was going to disintegrate was it in 2015? Is there a nexus between that and what is happening now? You need to put on your thinking cap. You need to know that the people that you approach for these things, they have their own agenda. Rightly so. Everybody should. If you don't have an agenda, too bad. We went and lost all what we had in Liberia and just walked out of the place. Other countries don't do that if they know what they're doing. You get what I'm saying? So as we're begging Africom and begging the Americans and so on and so forth, we should know that there's payback and we have an agenda, which is legitimate. So this idea of begging and helping and helping and helping, you can't fritter away your own resources, fritter away your money, fritter away your opportunity, fritter away your development, and then call some other country to come and clean your backside for you. It doesn't work like that. You're not going to get it for free.
That's right.
You're going to have to surrender something. Okay? Ike Kweremando also says that, Buhari should seek help. Senator Smart Adeyemi, while making his contribution, shed tears. Senator Oluremi Tinubu, who sat close to him, was not moved by Adeyemi's tears. Rather, she described him as a wolf in sheep's clothing. Wolf.
Yeah.
Is this true?
That's trending. You've not seen it? She asked him if she's stylishly a PDP member. I mean, why is she talking? Why is it talking?
It has nothing to... All right. Let's...
She's trending on Twitter.
There's some things I don't bother to, in all honesty. But my appeal to Senator Oluremi Tinubu is this not the time to play the bling game or ask for loyalties or whatever. This issue is beyond APC, PDP, and in truth, when you are a senator in this kind of issue, you should be a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the people of Nigeria. Sereka Dixon says that our federalism is only in name. Our security is structurally incompetent. We are about to lose the Nigerian dream. Okay. Suswan says here that the executive has shown incompetence, and he says our lives are in danger. Nobody is attaching any value to human life. Maybe our president doesn't know the magnitude of this situation.
So what's the summary of all this thing? What are they going to do?
The summary of all what is happening is that I think in the first instance, nobody knows and understands what the president is doing about this.
And so what are they planning to do, the lawmakers?
I honestly don't know.
They didn't...
I have an idea of where it might lead, but like they say, translate directly from Yoruba to English, it is not from...
It's not from... Let's pay some bills, can we?
Let me just finish this last.
Okay.
And now says that Boko Haram has taken over our cattle roads. So it's no longer the Fulani herdsmen now. The issue in that part of the state is Boko Haram taking over from the Hausa Fulani. So you can see how complex the Nigerian situation is. Let's play that bill.
We'll be right back, people.
Okay.
My name is Data Lover Joe Mapel. Everywhere you go, MTN. You know that feeling when you keep downloading and streaming interesting videos, but your mind keeps whispering, continue, your pockets go here up. But not anymore. When you subscribe to MTN's affordable and reliable monthly data bundles, you will enjoy 10 gigabytes with just 3,000 naira and 20 gigabytes for 5,000 naira only. Plus, a whopping 4 gigabyte free to stream YouTube videos on your reliable data network. Simply dial *131# to select and turn up your affordable data plan on MTN. Terms and conditions apply. Everywhere you go, MTN.
We're back right now. Welcome. Let's go on to Lagos, 99.3 Nigeria Info. It's Dailies today. Apapa is back in the news. Well, I don't think he left. And look at the picture. Oh my goodness.
This time last week, I think it was on Tuesday, I was so excited and I said finally the Lagos State government had found a solution to the Apapa crisis. And I was very, very jubilant. Jubilant also because I don't want it to always appear like you just want to criticize them. I have nothing personal against the government. It's my government. In fact, I tacitly and publicly supported this particular government, in coming in. So I was excited, only for my enthusiasm to be completely dashed. Yesterday was hell. Yesterday was hell along that Echo Bridge axis. It was hell. In fact, I got somebody tweeted his wife closed, I think, about 6 o'clock, got home at 10 a.m. and so on and so forth. As far as the Apapa crisis goes, what I have come to conclude, whatever the rhetoric is that the government lacks the capacity to handle it. The Lagos State government cannot handle that situation. Whatever might be said. The Commissioner for Transportation, he was speaking yesterday about the second. By the way, as at yesterday, it was bunched stop. Tankers all the way on Echo Bridge was hell. And he says that what have they done? He says we have partnered with MPA in introducing an e-call-up system and so on and so forth.
But they have now.
He said we initiated the expansion of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu truck park, everything anyway, to increase the capacity of the park and accommodate more trucks. Now, this is what the commissioner says. He says the lasting solution to a proper gridlock is to have other seaports. And that is why the Lagos State government is constructing the Lekki Deep Seaport, which is expected to be ready in 18 months. My question to him,
oh my God.
My question to him is, are we going to go through all this for the next 18 months? Because if this is the solution, let us know.
No, but it's not the solution.
Let us know. You don't want to know the number of people that have had some people sleep in their cars in the office. Some people have been buoyant enough to rent. Some of us now run 2 homes.
Yeah.
As it
one
were.
closer to the office.
One closer to the office. All because you can't get the traffic situation right. And then he talks about another one in Badag that they're doing seaports and so on and so forth. He says that we have deployed 2,000 LASMA personnel to manage the traffic around Apapa. I wonder how many LASMA officers you actually have in the states, whatever, that you have deployed 2,000 and we have seen no relief.
Yeah.
Absolutely no relief. And he says on the issue of those sabotaging the e-call-up system, Oladende warned, after his governor had said he would tell and whatever, he's now still
name
warning
and shame.
that name and shame. He says the state government will not condone any fraudulent act. Why don't you go after these guys?
Since you know them.
Since you know them. Since you know them. Get the Attorney General to tidy up a nice case in which they might not even get bail and get them out of the system, and let's have traffic moving. Because I think that is where the crux of the matter is. But he says that the commissioner says the Apapa whatever is a work in progress, and gradually we shall get there. if the governor has given the sole responsibility to this gentleman, I'm going to ask that he needs to be backed up with higher authority. I have said that over and over again.
What higher authority?
Maybe you're going to have to set up a crack team.
To
stay in that place for 2 weeks, headed by the deputy governor. With the authority, with the authority, deputy governor with authority, and clear the mess once and for all.
But they will be back.
No.
The mess will be back. If you don't fix the real reason behind the problem, they'll keep coming back.
No, he has said it's the sabotage.
What sabotage?
And therefore, if you give, I'm just thinking, we can't sit back and do nothing, really.
So this is what it is. So these trailers, there's an e-call-up system, which tells you that you book when you should come into the port. So these trailers are back on the road because they are waiting to go in there.
Yes.
Why do they stay on the road? Because there's no tank farm for them to stay.
That's the
first solution.
Well, that is the surface reason. I think it actually goes deeper than that, and I think there's some political element there that time will not let me deal with thoroughly. The other part is that once again I'm going to call on the governor to please exert his authority on the state, and try and ward off his political bosses who realize that when the crunch comes, it's going to fall on Jide Sanwo-Olu and it's not going to fall on them.
Because he's the governor.
Because he's the governor.
Yeah.
And if he feels that they're not giving him enough breathing space to do the job, he should pack his books and leave it to them. Because I keep repeating, he has a name to protect.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm fairly aware of what this crisis is all about. This crisis is partly dogged also by political ambitions of some other people. But are we now going to, do you know the number? Look at you now. Look at how I met you this morning. I can jolly well imagine the state of health of the average Lagosian now. The other day, the Lagos State government turned 2 years, brought out information about infrastructural projects.
51
infrastructural projects. 51 infrastructural projects, good as it sounds, is nullified by the fact that your citizens are not living in comfort.
Absolutely.
What has 51 projects got to do with the life that one human being lives, trying to get in and out of traffic and the environment?
Yeah.
So much as I would applaud the government, which I'm doing reluctantly because I don't see projects as being a very strong factor. If you live in a developed country, development goes on a daily basis.
Yeah.
You're not going to be counting, I built this hospital, I built this, I built that.
Because
Nobody does that. Nobody
anyway.
does that in 2021 and lists that as an achievement. But if that is where we are, so be it. But the real achievement is the peace with which your citizens live, with which they go from one place to the other, with which their children go to school, and security. That is the real achievement. That is the real achievement. But they say a man's got to do what he's got to do. They have to line up some achievements for us to see. But the target, really, for the government is to make life bearable for Lagosians.
I agree. Because of our time, let's go quickly and see this. Saraki urges Buhari APC to seek help on insecurity. And Nigerians have a lot of thoughts on this one. Mark K is asking on Twitter, good morning, Wemimo and Uncle Disu. Please, are we besieged? What is happening in this country? The body language of the president is not helpful at all. Adegboye Gadedeji says Nigeria does not need help or any foreign support. It's a PNB that needs help. That's why he goes abroad for medical.
No, I don't think that's just not this is not the time
that's
to
out
start
of the, totally out of the point.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is not the time to be cracking that kind of, this is a serious matter. Lives are lost every day.
Yeah. Kolawole applauds
Lives are lost every day.
Buhari calling for AFRICOM.
Yes.
He says, I remember when we were still giants of Africa, quote, and couldn't fathom the idea of a foreign military on our soil. Now we might have to beg for it.
We won't beg for it, we'll pay for it. I don't like that word beg.
It's a trade. You give something.
You have to give something.
It's not free.
It's not free.
There's no free lunch in Freetown.
And it's not a sin for the other party to demand something. There are no free lunches anywhere.
Yeah. It's going to cost them something.
In fact, to be honest with you, I admire those people. I admire them. We need to understand that the world is a jungle and is highly competitive.
Absolutely.
We need to get that stuck in our head. Nobody helps. There are no free lunches anywhere.
International relations is not paddy.
So if you don't want things like this to happen, you have to prevent them in the first instance. We haven't done so, and we're going to pay dearly for it.
Right. Anxiety as gunmen burned down Federal High Court in Ebonyi. There's a picture here of a section of the Federal High Court burned by hoodlums in Abakaliki yesterday.
Now, this story of the East is the one that actually affects, and I think also affects you, that affects me. Every day is a progression. Every day is something else. Today, it says the gunmen have burnt down the Federal High Court in Ebonyi. They've killed 2 soldiers, civilians at checkpoint in Ebonyi. They stormed the Ebonyi community, robbed the filling station. Amawusa blocked after gunmen attack in Imo as Imo monarchs vow to lay curses on sponsors. Anambra imposes curfew on 6 communities. It's not looking too good in the southeast. And where it's headed is better left to the imagination than that. I just hope something would be done to stem this in its tide very quickly, for that matter, because it's going to spread. It's spread to the south. I think there are curfews in some places. We need to keep an eye on Delta. And then you now need to keep an eye on the southwest. You need to keep a big
You
eye
do.
on the southwest, because
Absolutely.
that's where we are.
That's where we are. I was coming
Amongst
to
all
work
other
this
things.
morning around 4 a.m.
Yes.
I was telling the driver, "Are you seeing these boys under the bridge?"
You were
I
coming
was
here
like,
at 4 a.m.
"Yeah, the show starts at 5. I leave my house at 4."
Oh yeah, that's true.
I said, "Look at these people. They sleep on the streets.
Too
They've
many.
got no work."
My views on this I had better put in a podcast. I can't say them on radio. But we have it looks as if we have an army waiting.
Yeah.
I kept saying this during Ambode's time, and they kept increasing in numbers.
Yeah.
Now we are surrounded.
3 policemen dismissed for extorting master student. I think it's about 153,000 naira.
153,000 naira, yes. And I'm glad that the police moved in very quickly.
And even put their picture there.
Those are the 3
As they
policemen.
are wont to do.
Yes. And they've been dismissed.
Yeah.
And please, I had a caller once calling to say, oh, they were just dismissed. No. When you're dismissed from the police force, you're then taken for trial.
Yeah.
Okay, they've been dismissed, and the students praised the Commissioner of Police for his prompt response to the incident. 153,000 naira, and the money was returned to the student.
I'm still following up a personal case. You didn't hear. One policeman wanted to beat me on Third Milan Bridge. Me or Sherry, or the videos on Twitter.
No, you should have to. You need to let me take a breathalyzer first. You're kidding.
I'm not joking.
He wanted to beat you up.
I'm telling you. I put up a picture. I sent it to the PRO, but then I tagged the police complaints unit on Twitter. You know,
And did
the
they respond?
Ishako responded to me, and I told him, well, I'm just testing the system. I could have privately sent this to the PRO, but when I tell people to report, excuse me, cases on Twitter,
Yes.
I want to see how you guys take it up. So I'm waiting. So this is
When
day 3.
they wanted to beat you, what did you have as your defense?
My camera, my phone.
No, I will give
I
you
was in the car.
No, I'll give you one small thing in my left pocket.
Yeah, champion.
I have to.
We can share.
There's one you can beat him with.
What will happen?
He will prostrate
my
and
bag
he'll be
will require.
beating you. He will shine your shoe. I'm joking.
We need to go now, Nigeria.
I'm just joking.
Before they come and ask you, they queue up in your Twitter.
No,
and
before people come and test it.
Jimi, this is back at 9 o'clock
And,
with more. Join us again.
All right.